Now, my name is EDWIN Kubai from Kenya National Examination Council. I work with the Ministry of Education as a research officer. My topic today is about malpractice and information communication technology strategies for curbing examination malpractice, a Kenyan study case. Now, this topic actually is about examination malpractice and the best way we can be able to curb the examination malpractice in the country, especially during this time when there is rampant cheating in national examination that is making our credibility of national certificates or unreliable, or actually making our when the candidates be able to get the certificates, they cannot be able to secure jobs or be able to proceed to the next level of learning because of cheating in the national examination. So that is the driving force for this topic, and my interest was to look at what is the best way that the council can be able to implement and be able to use to curb the examination malpractice, especially during this time when everybody or more students are more interested in terms of cheating rather than working for their genuine effort in terms of getting credible results. So in the introduction part, we see that examination malpractice is an act of deliberate dishonesty or an ethical act of contravening examination rules and regulations, of which some people in the country seems to support the idea. The menace of examination malpractice has crippled the credibility of our national examinations, such that the certification process has become unreliable and even worthless to some students and so on. Examination malpractice is aggravated by the evolution of technology and modern means of communication like the use of mobile phones, the internet, the social media platforms of communication, and so on. Examination malpractice is a critical issue affecting the integrity of national examination as well as the certification procedures in the world all over, not only in Kenya. Now, when it comes to objectives of this study, we have two objectives that guided the study. One was to identify the methods of examination malpractice in the current system of education in Kenya. Two was to examine the available ICT strategies used to curb examination malpractice. What are the significance of the study? The findings of this study are useful to the Ministry of Education, the stakeholders, that is the teachers, the parents, and the students, ensuring that there is a better way in terms of curbing examination malpractice in the country, and there is credibility in terms of the processes of administering, processing, and releasing credible and reliable examination results for decision making of our country. What is the research methodology that was used in terms of this study? This study adopted a descriptive cross-sectional survey in terms of examining the variables under investigations. Simple random sampling was used to select 570 from 4 students, and purposive sampling was used to select 102 teachers in charge of examinations from 34 secondary schools within Nairobi County in Kenya. Data was collected using student-structured questionnaires and the teachers' structured questionnaires, especially the teachers who were in charge of examinations. Data was analyzed using the statistical package of social sciences, and the information was presented using graphs, percentages, and what you call the frequency tables and so on. Now, when it comes to data analysis and presentations and discussion, realize that in the background information of the participants, when we look at the students, we say that the total number of students who participated in this study of the participants were 570. And in terms of the gender, we realize that 39.47% were female and 60.53% were male students. When it comes to the teachers, we realize that the total number of teachers who participated in this study, and they were selected purposely because they are in charge of the examination at the respective center. That's why they were selected purposely. 67.60% were male teachers, while 32.40% were female teachers. Now, when it comes to gender analysis of the students and the method they use in cheating examinations, we read there were several methods that the students use in cheating national examination: using written materials, using mobile phone, being assisted by teachers and support staff, early exposure to examination materials, copying from other students' work, or copying from their own materials, and so on. So we realized that among these methods, using the mobile phone was at 32.11%, followed closely by the use of written materials at 24.39%, while we have early exposure to examinations was at 20.18%, while assistance by the teachers and support staff was at 15.61%, then copying other students' work was at 7.72%. But critically, when you evaluate the data, we see that when you critically analyze this data, especially in terms of gender, we realize that among the female students, early exposure to examination was at 30.67% as compared to the counterpart male students at 13.33%. So it is something that is actually worrying. Why is it that females are more exposed to examination materials as compared to the male students? But also when you look at the use of mobile phones, that the male students are actually using mobile phones at 39.71% compared to the female students at 20.44%. So it is something that needs to be actually discussed and so on, find out why there is significance. And depending on the gender, these methods are selected depending on different gender of the students. So different students, different genders select different method in terms of committing what you call an examination malpractice. Now, when the same question was asked to the teachers who are in charge of administration of examinations, especially among the female, and also because it was grouped among the female teachers and also the male teachers, we realized that when it comes to male teachers, 79.29% of the male teachers cited the use of mobile phones. Those are male teachers who cited the use of mobile phones as the best or the method that is used commonly by students in terms of cheating national examinations. While if you look at the female teachers, they cited the assistance by other teachers and support staff as a method that is commonly used by students in terms of cheating in national examinations. Of course, the other methods also have their percentages. Like if you look at the male teachers, we realize that early exposure is also a factor at 66.67% by female teachers, by the male teachers, and so on, as a method that students use in terms of cheating in national examinations and so on. So they also look at in terms of copying of other students' work as also a method that 50.00% as a method of cheating in national examinations. So it's the same factors actually. If we realize that what the students had cited as the methods of cheating is being confirmed by the teachers in charge of examination as also some of the methods that are commonly used by students to cheat in national examinations. Now, we went further to find out what causes students to cheat in national examinations. What are the driving forces that are actually making the students to cheat in national examinations? And in terms of gender, we realize that there are myriad factors that are actually making students to cheat in national examinations. And these factors range from peer pressure, going to the university, getting good grade, getting a good job, or being accepted in society as one of the some of the factors that may be affecting students in terms of cheating in national examinations. So going to the university was the leading one at 46.32% as the driving force or the factors that make students cheat in national examinations, followed closely by getting a good job at 21.58%. Then peer pressure was also coming up at 16.32%. Then also we have getting a good grade at 10.7%. Then being accepted in society at 5.09%. So we realize that maybe getting a good grade to a student may not be significant, but they just want to get a grade that is accepted for them to go to the university. And so they can use whatever methods available for them, whether using mobile phone or copying from other students or whichever method they want to use for them to cheat in this national examination. And also the pressure from society, where the parents are pressuring them, the teachers are pressuring them, they want also to perform well. So these are the methods that actual students use to cheat in national examinations. Now, we went further to find out, can ICT be used to curb examination malpractice? And we realized that 83.75% of the students supported the idea that actually ICT can be used to curb examination malpractice, while at the same time 95.1% of the teachers also supported the idea that if we implement the use of ICT in the administration of examination, then ICT can be used to actually curb examination malpractice. Now, what are some of the methods that can be used to curb examination malpractice? ICT methods that can be used to curb examination malpractice. And we realized that there are several methods that can be used to curb examination malpractice. We looked at the computerization of the examination procedures or processes. the use of that involve the use of the CCTV cameras, use of confidential password, especially when the students are sitting for, or the candidates are sitting for examinations. Then we looked at the online transmission of results by, that is, the stakeholders of examination, the teachers who are in charge of examination and so on, so that there is that high, the production of actually, or the integrity of the results and so on. So actually, if you look at the male students, at 79.37%, they prefer the use of CCTV cameras in the examination rooms, that all the rooms must be computerized, such that we have examination rooms that actually they are computerized, such that there is no cheating completely. And also we have, among the female, they looked at use of confidential password at 71.43% as a best method when you are administering the examination. And also there is the aspect of computerization of the entire process of examination at 50% among the male students, and also at 20.63% among the female students, and so on. So these are some of the methods that actually that can be used, the ICT method that can be used to curb examination malpractice in the country. Now, in terms of the conclusion of this study, we realize that 83.70% of the students and 91.1% of the students in charge, of the teachers in charge of examination, support the use of ICT in the process of examination administration. The study also found out that the use of mobile phones perpetuates the examination malpractice, of which the teachers citing it at 79.25%, while the students were actually at 32.11%, as the mobile phone is a threat to examinational integrity. The invention of ICT tools like mobile phone and computers poses a big threat to the security of examination administration. The entire examination process, starting from the production of question papers to the release of examination results, should be computerized. Then teachers and students support the computerization of the examination process at 50%, and installation of CCTV cameras at 71.43% in all examination centers, and the use of biometric data capture. There is need for the government to invest in installation and the use of CCTV cameras in all the Kenya National Examination Council examination centers for easy surveillance and monitoring. Thank you very much for listening. That is my end of my presentation today. Thank you.